voice acting for video games is very unique in that I always tell people you are rarely going to get cast to play yourself. You're not limited by your age, your demographic, your background, anything. You can be talking cutlery. You can be a demon goat. You can be a talking fish. You can be a talking mountain. I mean, it's ridiculous how much fun it is.
VO Atlanta is the largest annual event for the voiceover community, with over 40 states and over a dozen countries represented. It really is the premier event for talent, for agents and producers, for directors and resource providers from all around the world. You know, it's also an absolutely amazing place to network, too. The conference kicks off Thursday, March 28th, 2019, and runs till March 31st. I'm Suzanne Lynn, and let's jump into the VO Atlanta podcast. Well, for sure, one of the highlights of VO Atlanta is the gaming track, and Andrea Toyias is the senior casting and voice director at Blizzard. And Andrea, welcome. And first question right out of the chute is, how do you find your characters for the games?
I have this new little slogan I've created for myself that I cast people, not characters or voices. Because when actors come into the booth with me, I want them to give me their whole life story. Everything they got inside of them, their wins, their losses, their heartbreaks, their tragedies. Because even if it's an orc, demon, troll, or goblin, we are still chasing base human emotions. The actors walk in and give you literally the entirety of their life in goblin form, whatever you need. But they give you a truth and a rawness and honesty that I never take for granted, nor could I ever do, which is why I am only on one side of the microphone, and that's directing them, not acting.
But you are pulling it out of them.
Oh, yeah. It's interesting. I could talk about this stuff all day in case you can't tell already.
Good, because I got plenty of tape.
I know. Well, it's interesting because it's hard. I was talking to people. I was teaching in Albany, New York this last weekend, and we were talking, and I was saying, when you are a voice actor in our games, you have to give me your life story. But myself as a director, if I'm going to ask you to get naked and get vulnerable and get raw and get real, I have to kind of be prepared for that as well and open my own self up. Essentially the job of a voice director is I'm going to ask you to get spiritually naked, but I'm going to get spiritually naked first to make you feel safe and like it's okay. Wow. So oftentimes with our heavy sessions, I will start with my own personal story about my dark secrets and what I've been through to create that safe space. So, on camera and on stage acting, people see you acting. But when you're a voice actor, people don't see you acting, so I don't think they realize what goes into it. So
there's going to be a lot of people that have heard about the gaming track, and they're intimidated, and all they've done are maybe commercial. Mm-hmm. What would you say to them? I mean, how do you get people to take a chance and tap into that, to be vulnerable and be willing to possibly be rejected because it's not their area, but to go for it?
Sure, I think it is easy to be intimidated by it. I think there's two things that can happen. Either A, and I'm not saying anybody at VO Atlanta per se would feel like this, but in my classes I teach, I've heard people say, they think gaming is going to be the easiest track, thus not realizing all that's involved, which is somewhat disheartening. Or they, like you said, they get very intimidated by it. And it's always interesting because when I teach these classes and they walk in being intimidated by it, after we get done talking and sharing our stories and running copy and being ridiculous together, I think they don't realize how much fun it is. I mean, is it hard? Are you vulnerable? Yes to all of those things.
What are you looking for in an actor when you're casting for a video game?
The number one thing is kind of working off what I just said, is somebody who can be ridiculous. Like in my classes, I talk about the actors that I regularly bring into my games are people that come in and I feel like they've got a toolbox. They drop it on the ground. They've got every sound, every accent, every texture, every possibility you would ever need, and they come in ready for play.
Wow.
I feel like the people that I bring in for my sessions, literally, it's like a perpetual game of improv, and they are literally foaming at the mouth to jump in and get my crazy specs, and they've got this toolbox full of possibility. So the actors that what I look for are actors that are brave, courageous, free-spirited, and are willing to do whatever they got to do to create our character together. So, and that's hard because you walk into a booth and there's people staring at you from the game company, and we're telling you to be a demon goat, and you're going to make some weird faces. It's easy to be insecure and overwhelmed. But the actors I love are the ones that I say demon goat, and they're like, yes, I was waiting to be a demon goat, So
right.
So they're just really fun and they're ready to play.
I mean, it sounds to me like 50% has to be talent, but there's another 50% that's got to be willing and out there and ready to take rejection and just totally raw and naked, like you said.
Absolutely, and that's hard, absolutely, because there is rejection, and I think part of being an actor in any medium, no matter what it is, there's rejections part of being an actor, but it's going to be tough. But yes, I mean, for me, the two things are play and somebody who's an amazing actor. Because another thing that's hard for me is people think that, again, they don't see people act. They don't realize what goes into it. I would like to call voice acting just acting. I kind of resent that it's called voice acting. It's just acting. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, the people that I bring in are courageous, brave, talented, and ridiculous. So, yeah, I don't envy it. Being the life of an actor is very tough. It's not an easy road. But once you find your niche and you find your skill and you find your strength, I think anything's possible.
When I think about the gaming track, that's acting. No.
Mm-hmm. Back in the day when gaming started, it was just run the lines. When I was an engineer, you just read the script, no talk about it. But now the gaming industry really has evolved into almost Hollywood. I mean, the stories that I direct now versus what was happening way back in the day are two different animals, because we are kind of making cinema, and we're making very dark, human, powerful, emotional moments. So it's no longer, silly Donkey Kong or anything else, right? Mm-hmm. It's like really, really heavy stuff. So yeah, it's incredible acting.
What would somebody need to do to prepare to come in for your session, your track?
I want them to be prepared. I'm going to push them outside their limits. If they're new to the video game world, I work with a lot of actors who think, oh, I have this kind of voice. I can't make that kind of sound. Or I didn't even know I could make that kind of sound. So they're not going to come in generally and play in their comfort zone. They're going to come in and work with me, and we're going to go into things in their voice and their acting they didn't even know they could do. So that's what I want to do, is make them realize that, as I said earlier, you're never going to be cast to play yourself. So that's why it's always fun to work with new people, to see what kind of sounds they can do, what kind of growls, and what kind of moments and what kind of emotionality we can find. So there's really no way to prepare. I would ask the people that join me in my different little excursions, just come in and be open and be present and be willing. I think the number one job of anybody in my industry, whether you're a director or actor, is to be present and to be open to the moment and just be in your skin and in your voice and see what happens. And just be willing to go wherever you got to go and do whatever you got to do to make it come to life. So
I love that.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Everybody's dream is to get discovered at VO Atlanta, I think.
Right,
so,
of course, of course.
So who are you looking for as your star student? I guess that's my question.
Well, really what I'm looking for, I talk about this in my classes a lot, is it's not even about the voice. I think some people think that, I've got this great voice, I'll do great. And that's awesome, but it really, to me, is not about the voice. What stands out to me are powerful actors. And what I think I'm going to talk about in my breakout session is that the most powerful asset you have as an actor is you and your life story. And what stands out to me is not the person making the best orc voice. Of course, that helps when you can do all kinds of creature sounds. But when I really get a sense of somebody who's a powerful actor and they are delivering moments of truth and honesty to me in their performance, that I can tell is connected to their own life, their own personal life, and their own personal tragedies and wins. So what jumps out at me is when I work with people who are clearly breathtaking actors.
What's your vision for the conference?
I want to talk about the fun, the possibility. I want to inspire people. But it was really the first person that I wanted to include in my VO gaming track was a throat doctor. Because the games industry, more than any other industry, can really destroy your vocal health very quickly, very easily, and very permanently. So for me, my goal with the VO gaming track was to give a very robust, clear picture of our industry. Not just, hey, it's super fun and super easy, which it can be, but you have to be smart and know what you're doing. And if you're going to get into games, you have to understand that it can destroy your voice. So I really want to present the fun part of it, the kind of scary part of it. But with the scary part, Dr. Gupta, who's going to be joining me, we're going to talk about solutions and how to take care of your throat and how to make the best choices. So I really want people to leave the gaming track at VO Atlanta with a really solid, comprehensive picture of what's involved in my industry. And so they know if they want to pursue it, how hard it's going to be, how fun it's going to be, and how also to take care of themselves. Because if they don't, they won't last long.
What would you say to someone who's thinking about coming to, signing up for VO Atlanta, but they're on the fence? What's your experience been in the past?
I get asked to go to a lot of conferences throughout the year. And because I'm so busy here, I think VO Atlanta was my very first conference. Something about Gerald and his vision and what he was doing I really resonated with, so I went. And it has such a cool vibe. And not because I'm talking to you now or because I'm going to be there, but I think it all comes from Gerald. He's got such a big heart and such a clear vision on what he wants to do. And that really permeates the entire experience, because now that I've been a couple years, it's really good people, first and foremost, because in this industry, there's all kinds of people selling you dreams of success in this field. And this isn't one of those like, for $10,000 or, for the X amount of dollars, you too can be a famous voice actor. It's not that at all. It's meeting good people with good intentions who want to share their experience with you, meeting other good attendees who want to bond with you and share stories. It really has a sense of community that I really believe in. I mean, that's why I agreed to curate it and bring my tribe with me, because it's got such good energy, and I'm a total LA hippie. I really believe in energies, and it's got such a good frequency that I think anybody who goes will leave not the same, because there's good people, good energy, good moments, good learning, and good fun. So it's a really lovely, parallel, magical universe for a couple days.
We invite you to check out the VO Atlanta website for the latest news and updates at voatlanta.me. And of course, you can register for the conference that's happening March 28th through the 31st. Hope to see you then.